Hello, welcome back to our Fire Nursing Tutorial YouTube channel. In this class, we are going to discuss with another new topic, that is liver cirrhosis. We will see the meaning. What is liver cirrhosis? Here, liver cirrhosis is a chronic liver disease. Here it is a chronic liver disease and it is characterized by replacement of liver tissue. Replacement of liver tissue by fibrosis and also scar tissue leading to progressive loss of liver function. Here we can see the progressive loss of liver function. Here there are stages, that is healthy liver, after that fatty liver, and then liver fibrosis, and end stage is liver cirrhosis. These are the stages of liver cirrhosis. This one, liver progressive loss in liver function. These are the stages. We'll see types of liver cirrhosis. Here there are 5 types. First one is alcoholic cirrhosis. Here it is alcoholic cirrhosis. It is caused by the chronic alcohol abuse. And the non-alcoholic steatohepatitis cirrhosis. Here it is associated with obesity, diabetes, and also it's associated with metabolic syndrome. And then third one is post-hepatitis cirrhosis. Here it is resulting from chronic viral hepatitis. That is hepatitis B and C. And then fourth one is biliary cirrhosis. Here it is due to chronic biliary obstruction and also infection. And then fifth one is cryptogenic cirrhosis. Here it is of unknown cause. Here it is unknown origin. These are the types of liver cirrhosis. Next we'll see the causes for liver cirrhosis. Here chronic alcohol abuse. Here it is an important cause for liver cirrhosis. That is chronic alcohol abuse, and then chronic viral hepatitis, and then non-alcoholic fatty liver disease (NAFLD), and then autoimmune hepatitis. Of that, genetic disorders, that is like Wilson's disease, and then hemochromatosis, and then chronic biliary obstruction, and then medications, and also using this one, medications and toxins. These are the causes. We'll see the pathophysiology of liver cirrhosis. Here first there is the chronic injury, that is repeated liver damage and inflammation that causes fibrosis formation. There will be the deposition of collagen and also present the extracellular matrix, and then that leads to nodule formation. There will be the regenerative nodules of the liver cells is going to form, and then after that it leads to the vascular changes. There will be the altered blood flow through liver, and then that lastly leads to liver dysfunction. Here there is the impaired detoxification, metabolism, and also synthesis function. This is all about the pathophysiology of liver cirrhosis. Next we will see the clinical features, clinical manifestations of liver cirrhosis. Here there are 2 stages. One is the early stage and one is the late stage. Here early stage it's often asymptomatic. In early stages we can see fatigue, weight loss, and then anorexia. And then comes to the late stage. Here jaundice, ascites, fluid collection in the abdomen, ascites, and then peripheral edema, hepatomegaly or splenomegaly. Here we can see the enlargement of liver or spleen, and then gynecomastia in males. Gynecomastia is nothing but there will be the development of breast in males. And then palmar erythema. We can see there is a skin condition. Here redness of palms of the hands we can see, and then spider angiomas. Here it is a common condition, benign skin lesion. It's a benign skin lesion, and then hepatic encephalopathy. Here brain dysfunction that occurs due to the damaged liver can't remove the toxins from the blood. That time we can see that encephalopathy, hepatic encephalopathy, and then here last one is coagulopathy. There will be the impairment in blood clotting ability. These are the clinical features of liver cirrhosis. Next we will see the diagnostic evaluations for the liver cirrhosis. First and foremost there will be the physical examination and the history collection, that is must. And then after that laboratory test, liver function test, albumin levels, and then prothrombin, timing, and then complete blood count. And then next comes to the imaging studies. Here ultrasound, CT scan or MRI, and then elastography, that is fibroscan, and then liver biopsy, and then endoscopy. These are the diagnostic tests for liver cirrhosis. We'll see management for liver cirrhosis. Here lifestyle modifications, that is abstinence from alcohol, and then weight loss, control of diabetes, and then nutritional support. These are the lifestyle modifications. And then next comes to the medication in this part. Here antiviral therapy for hepatitis, and then diuretics for ascites, and then beta blockers for variceal bleeding prevention. After that, lactulose for hepatic encephalopathy, and then procedures. Comes to the third part, that is procedures. Here paracentesis for large volume ascites. For that paracentesis is required, and then endoscopic variceal ligation, and then transjugular intrahepatic portosystemic shunt, that is TIPS, that is the procedure required for liver cirrhosis. And then liver transplantation, it is for the end stage of liver disease. This one, liver transplantation, that is for the end stage of liver disease. This is what about the management of liver cirrhosis. We'll see the complications of liver cirrhosis. Here we can see the portal hypertension. Here a condition occurs when the blood pressure in the portal vein suddenly increases abnormally. That is portal hypertension. And comes to the second one, that is esophageal and gastric varices leading to bleeding. And then hepatic encephalopathy, already we have discussed. And then ascites and spontaneous bacterial peritonitis. After that, here hepatorenal syndrome we can see. This is a complication. And then hepatocellular carcinoma. These are the complications of liver cirrhosis. I hope you all are very clear with the topic liver cirrhosis. Please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content. Thank you for watching.